Right now you're listening to the DJI MIC 2. It is being handheld. It's right in front of my mouth, so it probably sounds pretty crispy and clear. But in today's video, I want to do a sound test. This is something I want to do for myself so that I can learn more about this microphone system, and also for you so that you can learn the same things. Now, real quick, before we go any further, if you want to hear the very best quality of these mics, you're going to need to use headphones. Otherwise, just understand what you're hearing without headphones may not be the whole picture. So the sound quality test I want to do involves the DJI MIC 2, as well as two other options. And this right here is one of those options. It is a shotgun mic by Shure. It is the VP83 being recorded straight into a Tascam DR10L. I just want to give a good round picture comparing the DJI MIC 2 to a few other options. And if you haven't already noticed the white lav here on my shirt, this is going to be the third option. This is the Tascam DR10L with the included lav, which I think is pretty darn good. So we have three different sources of audio, all recording me right now at the same time. That shotgun mic, by the way, is sitting on the table. It's probably 18 inches away from my mouth, kind of pointed up at my mouth. Now with the DJI MIC 2, I not only want to give you an audio sample of this mic handheld with the little dead cat on there, like we've been seeing very recently in a lot of people's videos, but I also want to clip it to my shirt, just like this. And on top of that, I want to use it with the DJI lavalier mic. I did purchase one of those as well. And speaking of purchase, this video is not sponsored in any way. I bought this DJI MIC 2 system with my own money. And a real quick side note here, I'm in my shop. There is wood on the walls, and I, to my own ears, can hear the vibration bouncing off those walls. So if you're hearing anything like that in any of these mics, especially probably that shotgun mic, that's what it is. So far, what do you think? You've heard samples from the DJI MIC 2 handheld with the dead cat. You've heard samples from my shotgun mic, not only when I was holding it, but also sitting on the table right in front of me. And you've also heard samples from this lavalier mic on my shirt, which is the way I normally use this thing. Oh, and one other thing. I'm also recording internally 32-bit float right into the transmitter itself. So comment down below in this first test which audio source you preferred. I'm now going to clip this to my shirt with the magnet, and realistically you can see this isn't a shirt, this is actually a sweater. So even though that magnet is extremely strong, it seems like it's pretty lightweight for a sweater. So this is the beginning of the second test. We are now listening to the same three sources, although the DJI MIC 2 is now clipped to my sweater. Now the DJI MIC 2 system was released mid-January of 2024. And as I'm filming right now, this is the very beginning of February 2025. So yeah, I bought this system pretty much as it was turning 1 year old. One interesting thing about that is the fact that the firmware that shipped on my DJI MIC 2 system is firmware number, hang on, number 04050231. Now, I thought for a second that I would definitely need to update the firmware the second I got it, being that this thing is a year old. But apparently, from the searching that I was able to do, I found a Facebook group where someone had asked this exact same question, hey, what's with this firmware? Because the latest firmware on DJI's website, the latest and greatest, is number 04050111. So somehow, some way, I have a newer firmware on my recently shipped device. On that Facebook group, someone asked that question, what's with the firmware? And one of the responses was apparently from a DJI support rep who said that that's the latest and greatest firmware that is shipping from the factory, although the only difference is apparently just the number itself. So take it for what it's worth. I thought I would mention it. Okay, this concludes test number 2. What do you think? Which source did you like the best? Comment down below. All right, I've got the official DJI lavalier mic. Let's go ahead and plug it in. And in order to do that, I have to take off this dead cat, of course. I'll plug it in. I will route the lavalier cable into its little home right here in the back here. Somewhat difficult to do, to be honest. Not the best system in the world. I do wish this was just a screw in. If you can see here on my pocket, I've just clipped the DJI MIC 2 to my pocket. All right, now begins test number 3. I have my DJI lav on. I have my Tascam DR10L lav on, and I also have this Shure VP83 shotgun microphone going into the Tascam DR10L right here about 18 inches from my mouth. Now, of course, the Shure shotgun microphone is going to pick up a lot more echo because it's farther away from my mouth. Even though it's a shotgun mic and it's supposed to be very kind of directional, it still has the ability, because of the distance, to pick up other sounds that are reverberating around. So that one's definitely going to sound like it's farther away. And that right there is the benefit to using a lav mic. The lav is very close to the source, which is my mouth, and it's very focused on the sound coming out of my mouth right here. So it's not necessarily going to pick up as much reverb around or outside sounds. Now, if I went ahead and picked up this shotgun mic and started talking directly into it as if it was a handheld mic, that's going to make it sound a whole heck of a lot better. Now, why did I want to do a sound quality test? Well, truly, I am very curious how this system stacks up in terms of sound quality against other sources. I did obviously listen to a bunch of samples on YouTube before I purchased the DJI MIC 2 system, and for the most part, I thought the sound quality was great. Now, I understand that when watching things on YouTube, you're not going to really get to hear the exact quality coming out of this system, because when you upload your file to YouTube, YouTube has its own compression for the video and audio, and it slightly changes the sound. Not only that, every single person that has done sound tests with these so far has different equipment, or maybe different settings, different ways of processing their videos before they upload them to YouTube. So I realized that there was going to be some variances there, and I was okay with that. The sound quality overall that I was hearing was very good. There was a few noticeable things in the audio samples I heard when compared to the Rode Wireless Pro, but overall, speaking strictly of the sound quality itself, it was close enough to not really worry about it. 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. However, what really sold me on the DJI system, aside from the sound quality, was just how well it worked with other camera systems. Now, we all know this MIC 2 system works very well with the DJI Osmo Pocket and the Osmo Action cameras, especially the Action 5 Pro, which I also just purchased. It connects wirelessly via Bluetooth, and you don't need the receiver, which I'm using right now on my Sony a7S III. But what I thought was really cool was the receiver plugs right into an iPhone, and you can then use the DJI MIC 2 system, just like I'm doing now, with an iPhone. Furthermore, DJI also sells an official adapter to put that receiver on the hot shoe mount of a Sony camera, a modern Sony camera, which is exactly how I'm using it right now. This solves a lot of problems for me. I can now record using my iPhone with the very high quality audio from the DJI MIC 2 going directly into that video on the iPhone. I don't have to go and take it and add the audio in later on in post and try to sync everything up. It's already there natively. That's awesome. And for the a7S III, I don't need a 3.5mm microphone cable going from the receiver into the camera. With this adapter, it is a digital signal. That saves me from having to use that cable and potentially over time ruining that input port on the a7S III, which I have had happen before. And being a digital signal, that sound quality should be a bit better. All right, this concludes test number 3. Comment down below. Let me know which option you preferred. Now, what do you say before I end this video, we do a blind test? I think that will speak volumes. You may, though, already be able to tell the difference between these 3 mics. So I'll go ahead and put an A, B, and C on the screen when you're hearing each different source, and you go ahead and comment down below and let me know which version you liked the best. Now, an extra side note here, of course, these 3 audio sources are going to be at different levels when I take them into post to edit this video. So I'm just going to try to boost them or quiet them down to make them sound as equal as possible. I'll be using headphones when I do that. So hopefully every single thing you've heard so far was all at the same level. Well, so far throughout this video, I've been talking a lot. I wanted to give you a good long sample in 3 different scenarios with the DJI MIC 2 system in case you are curious about purchasing this for yourself. This is exactly the type of thing I was trying to find before I made the purchase, and I sort of did, but I had to watch, 25 different videos to basically get there. So hopefully this video helped you. The purpose was to show you what the DJI Mic 2 system can do, what it sounds like versus a couple of other options, just to give you a well-rounded ear on exactly what this thing sounds like. And hopefully I've accomplished that. If I did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It really helps this video and the channel. My name is Jimmy for the General Expert channel here on YouTube, signing out.